Hi, my name is Anthony,
I'm Gabby.
and we're here to talk about voiceover, at least something to do with
All the
voiceover.
things
That's for sure.
voiceover, all the
All of
voices.
everything,
Yeah.
every crazy thing, which way and that way. I've got my dad mug cup today. What do you got, Dad
I
Fuel?
I have a very busy Edgar Allan
Ooh.
Poe mug that I
Ooh, I like that.
love
You
to
are
use.
totally showing me up on mugs.
I'm
Like I've got
sorry.
to get some
I'm
more
telling you,
mugs.
my coffee mugs have been a thing for years. There's so much of a collection that students, other voice actors, friends, they all send me funky mugs, and I'm like, I love it.
Hmm,
Yeah,
I like that one. I like
I'm
Edgar
crazy.
Allan Poe.
Well,
We have
my
a lot of.
literary, I'm such a Poe fanatic, and I
Oh,
mean,
I love it.
yeah, he's my lit hero.
I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to mention this at the end as well, but I want to mention this in the beginning. We have our webinar this weekend. I
Oh,
don't get to mention that to you, but this one we're doing freelance websites mastery
oh,
and just talking
nice.
about how to get yourself up on there and make some sales and make some money on some freelance platforms. So there'll be a link below to sign up for that. It's this Saturday
Super
from
fun.
12 to 2. Yeah, I'll just be doing that, me, myself, and I. So
Oh, okay.
very exciting to do that. Yeah, so we'll just put that under below. I'll
Nice.
put that there. Yeah. We wanted to chat to just today about
Yeah, it's Monday.
it's Monday. And what are we doing for the week? How do we
Mhm.
approach the week? Maybe I
Yep.
think that's a good thing.
Hey,
So, how
man.
about you? Why don't you kick us off?
Oh, man. Okay. So this week for me in particular is crazy. So I am having some foundation repair work done to my house and studio later this week. Talk about like I am so apprehensive. I have never spent more money on a home improvement that I will have nothing to show for it.
Oh no.
Nothing. There will be no like fun, outcome that I can, show off to friends. This is purely like, let's keep the house from sinking
Oh my
into the
goodness.
moat that is the South. Uh, so, so
Oh,
that's happening. That is
right.
going to be Thursday and Friday. Super fun. It's also monsooning here all week.
Mm.
Epic. So
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
it is a mad race for me right now between today, tomorrow, and half of Wednesday to get all my work done for the week, to get anything recorded, to get all my sessions complete, specifically so that I can shut down Thursday and Friday, at least from the studio standpoint. I can do admin, but even that's going to be a little bit rough. My entire office, my entire studio has to be boxed up. Everything.
I,
Mhm.
It's if
It's intense.
since I've started my business, the few moments where I've not had an access to a studio, I've
Mhm.
felt
Mhm.
I don't know, you almost feel naked, you
Oh my god, the
feel
fear, the fear.
yeah.
It's and I'm like on the positive, I'm like, okay, well, let's make some very tiny like strategic improvements since I have to tear like if I'm gonna be messing with all the cables, great time to replace cables because why not? Especially if
That's
they're old
true.
and they haven't been touched in a long time. Screw it. Let's just replace some old mic cables, old headphone cables. Let's label everything more, properly. I'm gonna put in a new keyboard while I'm at it and just, spruce things up a little bit. Uh, so there's that aspect of it. The rest has just got me very stressed,
I bet.
but it's also, regardless of whether it's something like this where it's an improvement or, it's like doing, if you're going on vacation, you're trying to cram all the things in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, so what are you so, like, from a we always get a lot of questions about, "Hey, I wanna go on vacation," or "Something's happening. What
Mhm.
do I do with,
Yeah.
my possible voiceover clients? What do you do?"
I'll be honest, I shut down. I put the close sign up. I do. I shut down and I go, listen, I'm a human being. I need some me time. It's okay. And I honestly, in all the years I've been doing this, I think I've lost out on one job
Mm,
as a result, and it wasn't anything major. But I will say, push comes to shove, if I have to make something happen, I will make it happen. Like
mm.
I know the other studios in town, the other voice actors that I could call in a pinch and be like, "Oh my god, I need to get in and record something." And they would
Yeah,
accommodate me. But more often than not, clients are like, "Yeah, it's cool. We can wait a day or two."
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Do you send anything out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you send out?
Yeah, so I send out a book out notice
Okay.
and I try to, I explain the situation, but not in a lot of detail. I keep it very, very brief. I go, hey, going to be booked out of the studio. Here are the dates. Here's the reason why. I try to keep it fun or silly. Like I think in the book out notice I sent, I actually said, um, jackhammers and a heavy construction crew, those are artifacts even Isotope can't fix. So shutting her down for a couple of days. And, or if I'm on vacation, I'll just mention where I'm going.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And I just go, hey, get me anything you need by this date, this time, and I'll be back this date, this time. In this case, I even had to say, fingers crossed, if everything goes well, I'll be back up and running Monday.
Gotcha. Do you have
Yeah.
what equipment do you use when you are like if worst case scenario or do you have a set of like a travel equipment or anything or
Nope.
wow, good for you. So
Nope.
you really do just be
I do.
like,
I do.
nope, nada, I'm done.
Shut her down.
Good
Hmm.
deal.
And part of it too is I mean, like, look, I've invested all this time and all this money into the rig that I have and the sound quality that I have. And I'm like, I don't want to compromise that. I don't want to end
No.
up with, yeah, just any kind of inconsistency in that. If I
Oh,
was doing more promo work or if I was doing promo work on a daily basis, then yes, I would. But none of my promo clients require that of me. So I can, same thing, just give them notice and go. But
no, that's
yeah.
awesome. I did the one time that I didn't have my studio, I had to, but it was for about 6 months. And that
Mm,
was when I was built. We were redoing this home and I had no studio. So that was when I took my stuff and I went in my truck and I literally recorded out of my truck. And
wow.
that was an interesting thing,
Mhm.
So I just took I took my big not these little ones, but my
Mm,
big ones.
mhm,
I have big
mhm, yeah,
ones and I put them like in the windshield
yeah.
and on the side of me. And that sounded really good actually. And now fortunately for me, I had my truck has regular 110
Oh, you have
outlets.
an
So
inverter. Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
so I just was able to plug in because I used my actual at the time I had the 416
Mm,
and but I had to use my Apollo Twin, my interface. So but I couldn't have done it without the plug. But
but the
anyways,
416 is a good travel rig. It
it
really
is.
does people right.
It
I've
is.
I've heard some pretty impressive
Yeah.
recordings off of it. I think the most that we have to worry about with that is that it gets a little muddy sometimes.
It does, and it also depends on your voice,
Mhm.
right? I mean, it typically, I mean, it works for everybody, but it brings out lower tone
Yeah.
voices. Now, so you said that you were possibly like, is there anything else that I think you did say chords, but when you put back your studio back together, are you thinking this is time for a change? Anything like I finally get to, I might as well update something or change the feel or look or
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't gotten that far in I think that if anything will happen on the fly as it's
okay,
being put back together.
right.
But for the most part, no. No, right now that's not in my head. It's pretty minor stuff that I want to do right now.
Mm.
Um, Honestly, a lot of it, if anything, is just going to be, I think, taking gear and really dusting it off really well and getting in there and cleaning it up and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's true, and
Getting
you
in the
never know what you're
crevices.
gonna find. It's like,
Yeah,
you might find some stuff, but, I mean, like, any other now, do you have to now, what are okay, let me ask this, what are you actually taking down?
all of it.
So, what is can you like, just briefly, what is all of it?
So I have booth and then I have editing station. So
Do you have
my
a whisper
entire,
room?
yeah, well, it's a custom build, but yeah,
Okay.
effectively. I'm actually in my whisper room is what I'm in right now. But
So you have to
my
take that down?
no,
Okay,
this is gonna stay up, but I have
okay.
to tarp it. I have to cover everything in plastic. Yeah.
Really?
So yep. So as far as my studio goes, that's why I'm tearing everything down. Computer, interface, cables, wires, monitor, keyboard, microphone. I'm boxing it all up because concrete dust. I'm not
Oh, yeah,
messing with
that's too
that.
much.
Mhm. So all of it's getting boxed up and babied. Everything else is getting tarped and like plasticked. Like it's gonna look like a kill room in here. Uh, you know, if
Wow.
you're a Dexter fan, yeah, just picture the Dexter kill room. Because yeah, they've already warned me. They're like concrete dust. They're like, we do our best, but I'm like, yeah, that shit gets everywhere.
Oh yeah. Oh
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Wow.
Yep. Yep,
So
yep,
that's a
yep.
lot. So
Yeah,
you that's
yeah,
pretty heavy. And when are you?
yeah.
What's the day you're gonna do that?
This is gonna be Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
Mhm,
Are you doing it
mhm.
by yourself or do you have help?
No!
Okay.
No, this is a massive this is a huge job. This is, like, almost an $80,000, like, yeah, like,
Wow. No,
deal.
no, no. I imagine you.
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
your studio. Are you taking that down by
I'll
yourself or
have
you
some
having
help.
help?
I'll
Okay.
have some help, yeah, but I'm gonna be pretty anal retentive about that because I want it done in a very particular way. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts. I mean,
Wow.
my dog's
Okay.
gonna
Well,
be
yeah. Well, I think
miserable.
you win the busy week award.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit cra okay, so what do you have going on?
Oh, well, that's a good question. So we have this webinar coming up. The let's see. I've got classes, I've got auditions, I've got a couple of voiceovers, and I think for me the big thing is looking at how to I was talking to you this about earlier, but how to sell like there's no tomorrow. I know this is like a philosophy slash actionable item,
Mm,
but I do feel like, and myself included, that, and maybe it's a Monday thing too, but I always end up feeling, am I doing what I should be doing this week? Like what I should be doing, or am I doing all I can do? Like, do you ever? I sometimes I feel like I hold back, or I have good intentions to do more. And in this particular, when I say sell more, like sell more voiceovers. Just do just and that word sell, of course, always is like, oh, sell, but that's just something I feel a lot that sometimes I even myself I lack on,
yeah.
or worst case, I feel like I used to be a little better at it, or I've gotten a little bit lazier as time's gone on.
Mhm.
But I do feel like that's something that I want to really focus my efforts on this week is, and I would say this to everybody. I mean, have you ever tried to literally just sell your services like there is no tomorrow? Meaning like, you know, trying everything and trying to reach out to as many people as you can in a lot
Mhm,
of time that you
mhm,
have,
mhm.
doing everything you can,
Yeah.
instead of half of it or a
Mhm.
quarter of it or a teeny bit of it. That's on my mind, and it's a big weight that is on your shoulders. So of course I start then so by putting it down like in a step by step kind of format is how I
Yeah.
try to go. But I do still struggle with making sure my step by step format I'm able to complete them.
Mm,
And that goes back to my schedule and time.
right.
So then you always look at we've had a little. So this is another thing this week. We've had just some changes and things. So trying to look at different personnel and people as well,
Mhm.
with Academy Voices or with VO Journey Academy and stuff like that. So there's a lot of internal things I think that we like. I mean, I'm not taking in my studio, thank goodness, but definitely thinking
Mm,
about the future of things as always.
yeah.
How often do you
Mm,
spend time thinking in the future? Like that's a good question. I think where all of us is planning. So I guess to put all that in context,
yeah.
there's a lot of planning. I feel like I'm going to be doing this week for coming up this summer. We've got the summer right here, right around the corner. Right, summer's always an interesting time.
I always feel like I'm guilty of doing the planning in my head and
Mm-hmm.
then not doing enough on the execution
Mm,
side.
mm.
You know, it's it's like the whole, you can't think yourself thin, right? You can't think yourself into more sales, or it would be lovely if we could,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's balancing. It's balancing the thinking and the planning with the actual action because that's where the
just a little,
disconnect exists for a lot of
little
people.
hair sticking up on my side. Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely, absolutely. I
mm,
agree. It's the execution.
mm.
That's probably something that keeps me up at night. Is the execution, right? Because
Right,
you
because the
know,
planning part is kind of easy, the
right.
theorizing is kind of easy, but the execution is the time
Hmm.
it's yeah, it's the one
Hmm.
that requires the time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and it's the
Mm.
making the switches when you know what you're trying
Oh,
maybe isn't working the way you'd
I
hoped. It would be
know.
nice if we had one idea and that idea always worked, but it doesn't. We do have a question.
Oh my gosh, we have a couple. I'm looking at these are great.
I know, I know. Okay, so we have. Let's see. What is the? Here we go. What was the name of the travel equipment? Okay, so we were talking specifically about one microphone, and but the everyone has their own kind of idea of what they want for their travel equipment. Some people like to use USB mics because when you travel, the idea is you're not going to be necessarily doing full-fledged voiceovers that you would do in your studio.
Mhm.
A lot of times it might be you travel with a gear that you could audition with, or someone was just really up the wall and they needed like something from you, you could possibly do it. Some people will duplicate their equipment
Mm.
and take a duplicate. Now it depends, more expensive equipment you have, I guess that's harder. But they duplicate their equipment.
Yeah, my U87 is not going anywhere.
Exactly,
It is not
exactly,
traveling.
exactly.
Mm-mm.
So that's something that can happen. I mentioned a USB mic. Um, we talked about the 416, the Sennheiser
Mhm.
416. That's a shotgun microphone, which plays very well when you travel because one, it has that shotgun polar pattern, so it's very narrow, so it mitigates the sound and all the stuff around it. Also, it's a hardy mic. It's easy to travel. It's got a nice little carrying box. It's thin. It's small. Well, I mean, it's long, but it's not thick like a large diaphragm like the U87, right? So
I'm
what do you?
laughing because I remember when voice actors were making their own homemade carry cases for
Oh,
the
really?
416 out of PVC pipe, and it looks like you're carrying a bomb.
Oh my g oh,
And
I could, yes, because
I've
it's small and circular. Oh,
yes,
really? They were just
well,
putting in
and it's
PVC
literally
pipe?
it's in a PVC
It's a
pipe,
pipe
and
bomb.
it's a pipe bomb,
Oh
and
my god.
so I had a friend. Oh my god, it's so funny the way he tells it, but long story short is he was going through TSA, and he literally saw the TSA agent go, "Oh my god," and he went, That's me. It's me, I can explain." Yeah, because they thought for sure, yeah,
Local voice actor
yeah.
taken out.
He's like, I got this, just let me
Oh
step
my
out of line,
goodness.
please." Yeah, it was so funny.
But you know that now that you bring it up though, but I don't think there's not a law against bringing like a PVC
No,
on that you made, but
no,
you're
it
right,
just scares the hell out
it
of
just
TSA
looks like it.
initially,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, of course,
mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
Wow.
The only way to avoid it is to get what's called a media badge, and you can
Mm,
actually register your company with the
okay.
TSA as a media company, in which case they give you a certain amount of leeway because they know you're bringing these big, heavy
Right.
duty
Right, right,
carrying
right.
for cameras and for audio gear, and yeah, but a lot of individual people aren't gonna go through that, so,
No, no,
you
of
know,
course not.
yeah. So
Wow,
just take your
interesting.
homemade pipe bomb on the plane, it's fine, no, it's
Oh
not.
my god. We're gonna YouTube's gonna take us down for that.
I know, right?
Um, so yeah, so basically, a laptop of some kind, and a lot of people have taken. I've taken. I do like. Again, it's a smaller mic. The Bumblebee. It's called,
I've
or
never
the
heard of
King Bee.
Oh, I've never
Yeah,
heard of that
you've
one,
never
okay.
heard of that. Yeah, it's these. It's kind of like one of those microphones that's inexpensive. It's a condenser microphone, and you would never think it's literal. I think the Bumblebee is like $69, $79, and it's
Wow,
good. It's a
wow,
great condenser microphone, especially for new people. And it comes with its own like pop filter built into it and everything,
mm,
and it travels very well. And then the King Bee is like the
nice.
one that's up one, yeah. But they don't market themselves very much, so you wouldn't even know about it. Check it out, everybody. That's a pretty good one. But you still need an interface. So you need something that can travel with you. Either you bring your interface or you bring I think what is it? Oh gosh, what is it? The
Zoom
Zoom
recorder.
H5, the H5 or
Mhm.
the H. I think it's H6 and
I think
7
it's the
now.
I don't yeah, but
Yeah,
the
yeah. But
5 was the
anyway, so
earliest
that's
one.
a real nice one because that has a built-in. Now you can bring that and not a and not because it'll record onto a small US. What was it? A small disc on it.
Mhm.
Those little
Like a
teeny
scan disk,
ones.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, scan disc. And but the thing with it is also has the ability for phantom power. So
Mhm.
that's what makes it unique. But anyway, so yeah, so it's very most people will travel with the best USB mic they can find in their laptop because that's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't expect to travel with or go somewhere and have the ability to do a good quality.
No, and what you're doing is either you're recording into the back seat of your car,
Yes.
or you're building a pillow fort in like a hotel room or something.
Yes,
You know,
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
All right. Anyone use an agent?
So I love this question, and I think that's tomorrow. I think that's our Tuesday topic. I say we
Perfect. I think
tackle
where
some
we just
agents.
hit our 20-minute mark. I
Yeah,
think that is perfect timing. We'll put down for agent for tomorrow.
sounds
Love it.
good.
All
I
right.
do love, I gotta say, I love Jack's comment though, where he said he recently swapped out a guest in a primary bedroom so he could use the walk-in closet as a booth, and then he remembered that his wife slept with a sound machine. Hilarious. Hilarious. That's the kind of stuff we go through as
I
voice
love
actors.
it. I
Yep.
love it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And don't forget the webinar. I'm going to put
Oh
that
yeah.
part of the webinar this Saturday. I put the link below. All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye guys.
Bye.